Well, good morning. This is Gamid. This is Mr. Gamid, your teacher of English. Still discussing the structure of the essay. We already talked about in the previous video the introductory paragraph. We have seen how important is the introductory paragraph. We have uh, already defined what is meant by the introductory paragraph, what's the function of the introductory paragraph. It is where you state your thesis statement. It is where you introduce the topic. It is where you provide a background information of your topic. It is where your major role is to capture the reader's interest in order to get more interested in reading your essay. We have seen the types of introductory paragraphs used by novice writers or professional writers to grasp the reader's interest. Today I'm gonna talk about the thesis statement, the backbone of your essay. It is, let's say, the main idea of the essay. We're gonna see what is meant by the thesis statement, what are its characteristics, and how to write a good, strong, clear, specific thesis statement. So, uh, generally speaking, the structure of an essay, as I've already said, a classical essay always has five paragraphs. A five paragraph, commonly labeled a five paragraphs essay, being comprised of the introductory paragraph, three body paragraphs, and the concluding paragraph. So writing an essay seems or is as the same as climbing a ladder. All right, so you start here, as you see in the picture, the figure. You start from the introductory paragraph, then you move to, then you keep on climbing until you finish with the body paragraphs, and then you end up by writing the concluding paragraph. All right. Uh, Generally, the introductory paragraph, it is where you capture, you try to capture, you do your best to capture the reader's interest. It is where you provide appropriate background information about your topic, and it is where you state your thesis. So what is meant by the thesis statement? Thesis statement generally, thesis statement is a part of the introductory paragraph. All right, it is that sentence or two, it is that sentence or two sentences which are located in at the end of your introductory paragraph. Why located at the end? Because you're supposed in the last sentence to introduce your main idea. In the introductory paragraph, I've already said it's shaped like a funnel. You start from the more general ideas to the specific. So the specific is your thesis statement. All right. The thesis statement is always positioned, or its position always at the end of your introductory paragraph. In contrast to the paragraph, to write in a single or a simple paragraph, the topic sentence is always stated at the beginning, meaning that you start writing your paragraph, your simple paragraph, by indicating your topic sentence at the beginning. In contrast to writing your essay in the introductory paragraph, you start with as I've already said, with the more general, and then you end up with the specific. The specific is the main idea of your essay. The specific is the thesis statement of your essay, because it is the most important sentence or two sentences in the introduction. It is always located at the end because it represents the specific. All right. So be located at the end of the introductory paragraph. It contains the focus of your essay and tells the reader what the essay is going to be about. What is the essay is going to be about. For example, if writing an essay on the causes of illegal immigration, the thesis statement I should list what are the causes that I'm going to discuss in my body paragraphs. When I write an essay, for example, about the effects or the impacts of global warming, so in my thesis statement, I should list what are the impacts or what are the effects that I am going to discuss in my body paragraph. So this, you see that it is specific. I'll show you examples. You may ask, for example, is it possible to write an essay without a thesis statement? No. You're gonna fail in writing. You're gonna lack failure. You're gonna fail totally in writing your essay or your whole composition without the thesis statement. Some professional writers, when writing their narrative essays, may not include the thesis statement, but it is implied in writing the narrative essays. Right? For example, writing a short story or writing a story, they may not include. I'm talking about professional writers, not novice writers, not EFL learners, learning how to write academic essays. So professional writers may not include or write their thesis statement in their narrative essays when writing a short story or writing a story, but it is implied when you read their short stories or stories. You feel that there is a main idea circulating from one paragraph to another. All right. So for novice writers, for EFL learners, learning how to write academic essays, you must take into consideration to include your thesis statement when writing your essays. Whatever the essay is it process essay, narrative essay, descriptive, cause effect, comparison, contrast, you have to make sure that a thesis statement is the key. Writing the thesis statement is the key to your success of your essay writing. Okay. Generally speaking, what makes the thesis statement very important in writing, in essay writing, is that it is considered as the umbrella, as the, you know what's an umbrella? As the umbrella of your essay. That's why it is very important. When writing your essay, you have to, first of all, you have to outline for your essay. All right? You have to outline. You have a main idea. You have already stated your main idea, and then you started outlining for your essay. So when you outline, you are brainstorming, you're collecting and brainstorming ideas for your essay writing. So any idea, any supporting detail, any main idea, any supporting idea which does not support your main idea, your thesis statement must be crossed out. So because all these supporting details, supporting ideas and main ideas will help you to, let's say, write your essay within the boundaries that you have already stated or that you have already defined. So when writing your essay, remember one thing. all the ideas, main ideas, supporting ideas, and the details that you have brainstormed should work to expand your thesis statement when writing your essay. So in outlining, you have to jot down any irrelevant details or ideas or supporting ideas which do not go hand in hand with expanding your thesis statement. This is very important. So any idea is related, any idea in, any supporting detail, any supporting idea, any main idea which is related, which is included in your essay, is related whether directly or indirectly to your thesis statement. So that's why the thesis is or looks like the umbrella of your whole essay. All right. So as I've already said, in contrast to the single paragraph in which the topic sentence is located at the beginning, the thesis statement is always located at the end of your introductory paragraph. It is the last sentence, the last two sentences, the last three sentences, depending, or how many sentences, depending on, all right, depending on the length or the size of the body paragraphs, and also depending on the size of the essay and the length of the body paragraph. So, for example, if you have 3 body paragraphs, you should have maybe one sentence listing 3 elements, or you may have, for example, 3 sentences comprising the thesis statement, in which each sentence constitutes the main idea of the body of each body paragraph in your essay. So, since the thesis statement is very important, is the backbone of the essay, is the umbrella of your essay, we use the thesis statement in order to serve, because it serves the following purposes. Number one, it tells the reader how you will interpret the subject matter under discussion. All right. The thesis statement always indicates the method of development. Are you going to write a compare and contrast essay? Are you gonna discuss, you gonna write a cause effect essay? So the answer to this question is in the thesis statement. When I read your thesis statement, I find out what are you going to, which method are you going to develop or use in order to develop your body paragraphs. It's a roadmap of your essay, telling the reader where to start and where to end. All right, roadmap. Item number 1, item number 2, item number 3, and so on. All right. It directly answers the question asked of you. A thesis statement is an interpretation of the question or the subject and a matter. So if the subject is on World War II, World War I, or World War II, or Moby Dick, for example, the famous novel, the thesis statement should offer a way to understand the war or the novel. All right, and in order to succeed, what you should do, all right, what you should do is that, first of all, you write the topic of your essay, and directly you pose the question. You ask question about the topic. For example, you're gonna write, for example, global warming. global warming. Your topic is going to be, you're going to focus on the impacts or causes of global warming. In order to help myself find or write a clear thesis, I'm going to, let's say, ask question on my topic. The effects of global warming. The major question that I should ask is, what are the effects of global warming? And then, to have a working thesis, to help myself having a working thesis, what should I do? What should I do then is, I should list down what are the effects of global warming. So listing the effects, so posing question about the topic and listing the impacts of global warming, I have succeeded. I have done the most important job in writing my thesis statement. All right. It's usually a single sentence or two sentences at the end of your first body paragraph, which represents your argument to the reader. Of course, in the thesis statement, when writing our thesis statement, there is also a main idea we are going to convey to the reader, trying to convince him of our point of view. All right. So when writing an essay about, for example, causes or effects of global warming, according to me, global warming has 5 or 6 or 4 effects or 4 impacts. Okay, this is according to me. All right. So the rest of the body paragraphs will collect information and organize them in a way to present a logic interpretation of my point of view. All right. It should be contestable. All right. Proposing an arguable point of view in which people may agree or may disagree with me. All right. A strong thesis is always provocative because it takes a stand and justifies the discussion you will present in your in the rest of your body paragraphs. All right. Always a stand. I believe that these are the effects of global warming. I believe that corruption is bad, and so on. And a strong thesis statement is specific and focused. It's never vague. You should be specific in your thesis statement. All right. So what characterizes a thesis statement? What characterizes a thesis statement? So a thesis statement is always clear. It's specific. Never introduce vague main ideas or vague points. It's concise. We use only the necessary words in. All right. It's arguable. It indicates the method of development of the body paragraphs. It takes a stand, your position towards the topic. It's worthy discussing, and also it expresses the main idea. But there is something there's really something. There is really something I should indicate and talk about, is that it is not easy to write a thesis statement like this. It's not an easy process. Well, the result of writing a strong thesis statement, really it's a result of if you succeed in writing a strong thesis statement, means that it is a result of your lengthy thinking, all right? So you need to stay and think a lot in order to come up with writing a strong thesis statement. Why? Because remember that when you write writing a strong thesis statement, you should never leave your reader ask many questions about. So if you write a thesis statement and if you are a vague thesis statement, if you fail in writing a strong thesis statement, means that you have provided vague point of view. The reader is going to ask a lot of questions, and he feels that your essay lacks strength in your thesis statement. That's why when you write your thesis for the first time, you need to review and ask a lot of questions about. So to succeed with writing, you have to, with writing a strong thesis statement, what you should do is that you have to check and review by asking yourself the following questions. Number one, did I answer the question? Remember, there is a topic. When choosing the topic, you proceed with writing the thesis statement. Okay. What helps you is that you pose question. You ask a question about your topic. When you answer the question, it's okay. You have reached a thesis statement. You have reached writing a thesis statement. Have I taken position that others might challenge or oppose? This is another question to review when writing your thesis statement. All right? Writing, for example, about corruption, an essay about corruption. All right, you have asked a question, and after asking the question, you should review and check what is your position. Does the thesis statement review or declare your stand in the topic of the essay? Corruption is bad. As an example, corruption is bad and must be and corrupt people must be fought, or must be punished for. Okay. Is my thesis statement specific enough? All right. You have to check whether your thesis statement is specific or not. If it is not specific, you have to review and rewrite your thesis statement to be specific, because you have written a vague thesis statement. And vague thesis statement don't have a strong argument about it. Does my thesis statement pass the so what question? Okay. If the reader's first response, so what, then you need to clarify, to forge a relationship, or to connect to a larger issue. Does my essay support my thesis specifically and without wandering? Meaning, if your thesis and the body of your essay do not seem to go together, one of them has to change. It is better to change your working thesis to reflect things you have figured out in the course of writing your essay. Remember, always reassess and revise your writing as necessary. If the thesis statement talks about something and the body of the paragraph of the body of the paragraphs talk about some things which talk about things which are different, so there is a problem of guidance. There is a problem of thesis statement. The thesis statement has The thesis statement has to go hand in hand with your body paragraph, because all what we have listed in the thesis statement must be developed clearly and specifically and largely in your body paragraphs. All right. Does my thesis pass the how and why question? If a reader's first response is how and why, your thesis may be too open-ended and lack guidance for the reader. So what you can add to give the reader a better, so see what you can add to give the reader a better take on your position right from the beginning. All right, so these are the major questions that you should take into account when you check or revise or review the writing of your thesis statement. All right. As an example, you had an assignment. Your teacher gave you an assignment to write an essay on the following topic. The assignment of the essay is to write about the reasons why the North and the South fought in the Civil War. Okay. After a lengthy thinking, you may come up with this thesis statement. For example, the North and the South fought the Civil War for many reasons, some of which were the same and some different. And you think that it is a strong thesis statement? No, this is not a strong thesis statement. Why? Because you have asked the question without providing necessary information or additional information. You just restated the question, all right? Your teacher asked you to look for the reasons, but you did not mention the reasons. You did not mention the reasons why both the South and the North fought during the Civil War. All right. So you need to reconsider this thesis again. You need to revise it, to check again and review and correct this thesis statement so that it looks strong enough. All right. You may revise the thesis statement and write again and rewrite again. The South believed slavery was right, and the North thought slavery was wrong. That's the beginning. All right, that's the beginning. So here you have selected an issue. You have selected an issue, or the issue of slavery, which was one of the major reasons, over which both Northerners and Southerners fought during the Civil War. All right. One side believing that it was wrong, and the other side thought it was right. One believing it was wrong, the other side believed it was wrong. All right. Okay, but still, you need to revise this thesis, and you push yourself forward. All right. You may correct this thesis statement so that it looks more specific and stronger by rewriting the following. While both sides for the Civil War over the issue of slavery, the North fought for moral reasons, while the South fought to preserve its own institutions. All right, because at that time slavery was a way of life. Slavery in the South was a way of life. All right, because of the large plantations, so it relied heavily on forced labor. So now you have a working thesis.
That's good. Now you have a working thesis, okay? So included in the thesis, a reason of the war and some idea of how the two sides disagreed over the reason. Now you need just to characterize the differences more precisely, and your working thesis will not seem too vague. All right. So you need to revise again this working thesis. You need to revise again this working thesis and rewrite it in a better way so that it looks strong. When rewriting it, you come up or you end up with the most or the strongest thesis statements with a clear, focused, specific, and strong thesis statement. While both Northerners and Southerners believe they fought against tyranny and oppression, Northerners focused on the oppression of slaves, while Southerners defended their own right to self-government. Here, you come up with a strong thesis statement which is clear, specific, arguable, provocative, and so on. So you see, it's not easy to, as the writing of the essay is let's say somehow difficult. Writing the thesis statement is the most difficult. Selecting your thesis, an appropriate thesis statement for your essay is the most difficult task in writing an essay. So I repeat again, the key to good and successful essay writing is a strong thesis statement. If you succeed with writing a strong thesis statement, 50% of the job of writing your whole composition is done. Okay. Just can you review with me? All right. I've selected some introductory paragraphs, short and long introductory paragraphs, in which you see how where the thesis statements are located, are positioned, and how do they look clear, focused, and strong. The first essay is about the introductory paragraph talking about the poverty in Mexico. The purpose of the essay is to analyze these three main causes of poverty in Mexico. The critical situation in Mexico is caused by individual, geographic, and political factors. The purpose of the essay is to analyze these three main causes of poverty. All right. Then, second introductory paragraph. The purpose of the essay is to discuss the physical, psychological, and economic effects of alcoholism. The next introductory paragraph. The basic causes in the United States can be traced to three events: development of the effects of effective birth control methods, the invention of labor-saving devices for the home, and the advent of World War II. All right. We have another examples of thesis statements. Basically, there are three types of Americans: the sports-oriented, the violence-oriented, and the sex-oriented. So the essay is going to describe three classes or categories of Americans. Okay. The three major steps involved in the digestive process are ingestion, digestion and absorption, explaining the process of digestion in the human body. All right. Other examples, other examples of thesis statements. The issues that divided these two power blocks were the balance of power in Europe as a whole, the search for colonial territories, and the expansion of wealth and influence. In fact, I have found that most of the professors here at State fall into three categories: the positive teachers, the neutral teachers, and the negative teachers. Okay. The last example of a strong, clear, focused thesis statement. Although it may not seem fair to compare between both of them, John Rambo and Jack Bauer have remarkable differences. From the introductory paragraph, the essay is going to, and the thesis statement, the essay is going to compare and contrast between two major movie characters, John Rambo versus Jack Bauer. Okay. The purpose of the thesis statement, as I have already listed, but I can add the thesis statement is you write your thesis statement not for you, but for the reader, all right, for the benefit of the reader. As a writer of the paper, let's say you guide, all right, you guiding the reader, telling him, for example, where to start, where to go, and where to end. All right. So the thesis statement, as I have already said, is a roadmap to your reader. All right. Also, it helps, all right, acting as a roadmap for your essay. So it helps the reader expect what to expect from you in your essay. So the thesis statement, for example, I listed the causes, cause number 1, number 2, number 3. So when reading the causes, for example, the causes of global warming, he expects to find, let's say, large information on the large information in the body paragraphs about cause number 1, cause number 2, cause number 3, and so on. Okay. As I have already said, to make it easier for you to choose or develop a clear thesis statement, I've already listed I've already talked about the steps. When writing your thesis statement is supposed to be reviewed, revised, and checked by you. You need to reconsider. You need to think all over. You need to think all over it. As I have already said, when you finish, all right, when you review, you need, all right, when you write your thesis statement for the first time, you need to review, revise, and check your thesis statement by asking a lot of questions from different angles. All right. So if you succeed by answering these questions that you have posed in revising, reviewing, and checking your thesis statement, it's okay. You come up with a clear thesis statement. All right. As an example, all right, I'll give you another example of moving from a topic to a thesis statement. You want to write a topic about Emily Dickinson. So Emily Dickinson is your topic of the essay. not your thesis. All right. Then you're interested in the way Emily Dickinson biography informs her poetry. All right. You come up with a thesis statement like this: Emily Dickinson's biography plays a role in her poetry. All right. This thesis statement doesn't seem clear. It's somehow vague. All right, because it is not. It doesn't seem to be the best thesis statement for a classical essay, a 5-paragraph essay. All right. So this thesis should be narrow. All right. Because the generally the most important words in the topic are biography and poetry. All right. So revising your thesis statement, you may come up with a strong thesis statement like this, that one. Emily Dickinson's use of the personal pronoun I evokes tension in poem 277. So this thesis statement is strong, clear, and sets up an argument that has to do with the difference between poet and speaker in a specific between poet and the speaker in a specific poem. So to finish with, you need to avoid some of the mistakes. You need to avoid some of the mistakes in writing your thesis statement. Announcements, all right? Announcement. Thesis statement like the essay discusses, the essay focuses on, I will concentrate on, I will discuss. Avoid them, all right? Because they may, because they don't seem writing your thesis in that way doesn't seem that it is somehow a strong one. Vague language, like it seems, it is believed, it is argued, all right, and using the first person pronoun. In my opinion, the impacts of global warming are, no, avoid using the first person pronoun. Okay, so that's all for today. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching my video. The next video I'll be lecturing. I'll be lecturing on what is meant by the body paragraphs and how to develop writing the body paragraphs of your essay. I'll be happy to receive your comments, to receive your questions and inquiries on my email.